In My Hero Academia fandom, the ships are built by two separate yet equally important groups. The creators who create the materials and the consumers who watch them. This is the account of only one side. I started my morning like every other morning. I did my morning sun salutation, headed out to my kitchen. I was just going to go have my breakfast. Milk and cereal. Milk first, of course. Have my breakfast, Frosted Flakes, the cereal of a real man. Breakfast in hand, my morning would not be complete if I did not engage in the final step of my morning ritual. The reading of angsty Bakugo Kirishima /fics. The angst present in those work of art just really sets me off for the rest of the day. I am happy when I get to sit down and read some of those little fanfics. But lo and behold, all of a sudden, it was flooded. Kirishima and Mina? The pink girl? I didn't understand what had happened. Where did my fanfics go? You don't understand what that does to a guy. You know, I think it was the 6th, or, you know, maybe the 12th. I think it was the 12th. I was just sitting down and I was reading. It was a regular day. I figured, hey, let's go have some fun. Let's go read some My Hero Academics. And then I just go in and I was reading my chapter and I saw this. I was seeing this happen in real time, and I realized this is going to get people. People are going to react from this. This little like talk that's just going on here. It was so insignificant, so small, but you had two characters showing up on 3 pages straight. And it was like, it was magic. It was chemistry. I felt it. I totally felt it. And you know, I said it. I said it to my Lord and Savior. It's going to happen. And you know, I have a second eye for these kind of things. So I was so sure about this. It was going to happen. It was going to be these two. Kirishima and Mina. People were going to get excited about this. I just knew it. I know people, okay? I know them. Just have a second eye for this. Yeah, I'll tell you what I think about it. It's baloney. What's this whole thing about Kirishima and the Mina girl? Like, no, it's Kirishima and Bakugo all the way. We all know this. This is common knowledge. If you're gonna ship someone with Kirishima, it's gotta be Bakugo because it's the only person he gets along with. Like, what the heck, man? All they didn't even know each other in middle school. They were just people that happened to be in the same area at the same time. Like, there's nothing there. Who thought of this? Who thought this was a fun idea? Who gets into this?
Okay, so I heard voices. Is everything? Oh no, are you still doing that Law and Order thing?
No, I'm just playing with friends. Yo everybody, it's Tripl-L and welcome back to Pair Spotlight, where we will talk about a bunch of characters and what people end up doing with them and other stuff. Today we're looking at Kirishima and Ashido, a very requested ship and a preview, or I guess like the opening event before the Bakugo Kirishima video. How nice. Anyway, yeah, guys, so you saw the Law and Order bit at the beginning. I hope that landed with you guys. Anyway, if you didn't get the gist of that little bit at the beginning, this pairing is one that just really erupted one day, just because of one chapter that clarified the middle school life of these two kids. Now, in my view, this incident was the perfect example of how trigger happy the shipping aspect of fandom can be. Heck, you even have some people making YouTube videos talking about the two being shipped, this one not included. Mind you, this is still a manga exclusive ship. If you haven't read the manga, you probably don't know why people are putting these two kids together. And in case you haven't read the manga, well, this video will have a quick recap. The thing to note is that because this is currently a manga exclusive thing, you won't really see this ship spreading like wildfire. Once the anime comes around though, more people will undoubtedly jump into it. That's just the anime effect. One more thing that I want to take note of with this pairing is that this was one of the pairings that you could have gotten an early start on before the manga even started teasing it if you kept up with the supplementary materials. For example, this ship hinges on the fact that Kirishima and Ashido were in the same middle school. This detail was told to us in one of the My Hero Academia databooks, so if you were a well-read fan, you would have known about this. Now, I'm not saying people would jump on this just from that. This segment is more to celebrate the fact that the author gave us something and he built it up from that small detail. It's nice to have seemingly small details pay off in general, and this was one of them. Anyway, let's get to the meat of this video and understand just what went down. And let's just start it off by saying it was all because of a single flashback. Before this flashback, the two had interacted, except when you looked at their dialogues, you would see that there wasn't much depth to them. There's no two people trying to work together to get something done. There's no commentary or insights on the other's qualities. There's no engaging on a personal level. It's just a person making an observation and the other person affirming. What these scenes did imply, however, was that there was some degree of familiarity between the two, that they were comfortable with each other. What the flashback did was that it added context. It featured the characters and established an emotional dynamic between them, although the majority of the dynamic wasn't something one party was aware of. For a quick recap though, Ashido and Kirishima were in the same middle school, but it seemed they were only acquaintances, not friends. Before Ashido was introduced in the flashback, Kirishima was his same loud, manly self. After Ashido jumps into the flashback, Kirishima sees her qualities. Seeing Ashido, Kirishima would highlight her great qualities and become sad that he was lacking in that department. She also had qualities that Kirishima acknowledged as being more suited to professional heroism. Things happen and Kirishima's hero is brought into the flashback, and Kirishima picks himself back up after listening to his words. Now, people will argue whether or not Ashido was a good or bad factor in Kirishima's past. We're not going to go down that rabbit hole, however, we're just going to state the fact of what it is. Kirishima put Ashido on a pedestal. That pedestal was made of what Kirishima thought a modern pro hero should be, of what qualities they should possess. When he looked at Ashido, he saw the qualities he was missing, and that made him sad. And that's what happens sometimes when you look at someone else on a surface level and compare yourself to them. It doesn't matter for this discussion whether or not Ashido was a negative influence that made him sad or made him spiral, or whether or not she was a positive influence that made him strive to be different. The fact is, Kirishima put a girl that he only saw from afar on a level that was above his own. That's their dynamic. That's what linked them for this segment of the flashback. She is a component of his history. The more fan shipping triggering event, I believe, is when Kirishima and Ashido meet again at UA, and pretty much Ashido cheers Kirishima on, and they end up sharing a secret revolving around Kirishima's hidden identity of being a much more subdued person. And for added bonus, there were cherry blossoms. And when there's flowers flying in the background, you know it's a sincere emotional event. So we'll give them the point there. But yeah, actually that's pretty much it. There's not much else. It is a pretty interesting effect that happened. People got an interaction that technically happened a long time ago, and it gave them enough material to come up with some cool shipping stuff. And then maybe there were some shippers that would try to read into it and try to see something else in their interactions, because now they had that extra bit of info that biased those past events. But even then, I think that would be such a small population that the effect would just not be that apparent. The flashback ultimately gives a few little things that you could see pop up in the fan works, such as the two being horn buddies, that being a reference to the flashback, and then this is just something I observed, but a lot of the fan art of the two characters is from their middle school days, so if anything, it does show, at least to me, that people were really affected by that flashback. Anyway, if we were to look at the skeleton of this, what we ultimately got was context to two peoples who, mind you, were just acquaintances at that point, of their shared past, and a secret being kept, which is just blatant shipping bait at this point, and one person idolizing another and the other cheering them on. And as we have seen, that's more than enough to build a ship out of. Nowadays, Ashido is in the background and Kirishima is in the limelight, but Ashido has been associated with Bakugo to some degree, so the odds that we'll see more of these characters interacting in the same area, I think is pretty solid. And with this, maybe we'll get more callbacks to their friendship. As for Ashido, she's a background character like I said, but we know that she has qualities that kind of put her on Izuku's level, so maybe we will see some exploration of this aspect of her character. Who knows? We can at least count on the My Hero Academia author to give us enough material about his characters. Even if it doesn't pop up in the manga itself, we could probably still expect some supplementary materials. Anyway guys, that's pretty much it for the video. Thanks for watching. It was quite a process to make this video. It took quite a bit. It's like 2 weeks in the making, but whatever. The next one is Bakugo and Kirishima, and if it makes you feel better, looking up Kirishima and Ashido, actually I was 2 birds with 1 stone. I was able to also find out the information I needed for Bakugo and Kirishima, so that video will be out very quickly after this one compared to the large gaps that there were earlier. Regardless, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. This ship is a pretty simple one. It if anything, the most interesting thing about it was the fact that this is all coming from one flashback incident. And yeah, at the end of the day, my own thoughts about it, I think it's cute. I think what the author ultimately did was just, it showed a really nice interaction between characters. It showed that people don't have to necessarily be friends to be effective on each other. If so, you know, it's one of the more nuanced dynamics in My Hero Academia, and I really appreciate it. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Till next time, I hope you have a great day.